Hello and welcome to Silicon Valley Health Institute. I'm Robert Minkemeller, one of your board members here. October this year will be my 30th year of passion for health and studying it. It's a never-ending learning opportunity, and that's why we're here. So we're a nonprofit. We're a 501c3, and so we thrive on your donations and your memberships with us. And if you haven't been to our website, svhi.com, we have lots of videos on there. I was looking at it tonight, actually, and since 2014, we have like 4 million views. So you know, if you have any topics that you're looking for, be sure to visit the website and check out our YouTube channel. All of our lectures are recorded. If you have a cell phone, please silence your cell phone. And if you are worried about EMF, you can turn it off. But if you get a call during the lectures, please take it outside so we don't interrupt the speakers. Our restrooms, we'll have a break about 8:45 to 9. And our restrooms are all the way down the hall. Take a left, all the way down on the right. So you get a little bit of exercise in at the break time there. How many people are here for the first time? Great. Okay, fantastic. Does anybody have any announcements of any health things going on in the area? Anything that kind of works to inform people? We'd like to open the floor in case anybody has any announcements. No announcements? Okay. So then we usually start the forum off here with an open floor for you guys to ask questions or come at us with information that could help other members in it. Any new information that you have out there or any questions that you have. We have several health practitioners in here that can maybe answer one or two questions. So any questions? Okay, come on, this is audience participation time. Nothing? How many people out there think there's one disease or 11,000 diseases? One? 11,000? Yeah? How do you track 11,000 diseases? How do you manage 11,000 diseases? Well, most of you might know my mentor is Raymond Francis, and he says there's only one disease. And we're all made up of 75 to 100 trillion cells, so either those cells work right or they malfunction. And there's two causes of disease, deficiency, toxicity. So this is the way I kind of look at my own health. You know, if I have some symptoms or something, the doctors might, you know, diagnose it as cancer or heart disease or something like that. I know this is just cells malfunctioning. So look at what's deficient and look at what the toxins are in the body. Get rid of the toxins and increase the nutrients you need to get the cells working and functioning at a higher level. So I don't know, is this something that kind of resonates with you and how you look at your health? So then there's 6 pathways. There's a nutrition pathway, toxin pathway, mental or psychological pathway. I think that's one of the most powerful pathways in the 6 pathways. Physical pathway, genetic, and a medical pathway. So now you can see in which one of those 6 pathways there's a deficiency or a toxicity issue that leads to the cells working right or working or malfunctioning. So now you know way more than most doctors know about health. Hold on.
So I understood 5 of them, but the medical pathway, maybe you can elaborate on that.
Yeah, so it's part of something that people make choices in. So they go to the doctor, and the doctor will give them a choice of prescription drugs, or so they may be doing prescription drugs that because he has a model, a triangle, and the medical pathway is on the right side, right under toxicity. So most prescription drugs have side effects, which is an indication that it's probably something toxic versus something that's supporting your health. So it's a pathway of choices that we make, you know, and then if we have surgeries, they cut out your gallbladder, you know, put in a new heart or whatever you need. then, that is another choice, another factor that leads to, the cells working right. Because if you have, it took me a while to kind of figure out, but when they cut into you, that's traumatic to the body. So, it's just another choice that we have. And, certainly medicine has a place and all, but, for me, it's more about choosing optimal health, finding the things that help the body heal and repair, so you can bring yourself back to optimum health. And we do record this, so that's why if you have a question, raise your hand. I'll bring the mic to you, and we'll do this after the first speaker and the second speaker as well.
Yeah, like recommendation, anybody have experience with a doctor who takes insurance for medical visits for stem cell therapy? So stem cell to major joints and also hand joints.
So I'm not sure if they take it, but Avi Herskowitz in San Francisco, have seen some posts of his on LinkedIn with regards to the stem cell, and his website is escaping me right now. But if you look up Avi, AHVIE, Herskowitz, HERSKOWITZ, I believe, you should be able to find him. Do you know his website? Okay. Yeah, and he's great. That's it. Anatara is the website, ANATARA.com. He has a great clinic in San Francisco that he uses 9 different modalities, and so he's bringing everything to the table, plus stem cell. Really good stuff.
One thing, just to speak to that, the other weekend, Dr. Matt Cook was here the other weekend. His clinic is in Campbell. Maybe you were there for that. I have a question for the group as a whole. A good friend of mine recently was put on a high blood pressure medication, and it's very much impacted his ability to live a normal life. So he's a tennis coach, and the other day he was not able to coach a lesson because these medications that they've put him on are altering, they're making him dizzy. So he had asked me for any advice that I may have, and I was not able to give him any advice. I don't have very much experience with high blood pressure medications, so I'm wondering if anybody else in the group could speak to that.
So I'm Jonah Fland, speaking tonight. In my experience, high blood pressure is associated with processed foods. So it's not just salt, because when too much sugar gets into the bloodstream and you have high glucose, the body will increase blood pressure in order to move the thicker blood around the body. So it happens so abruptly. High blood pressure can fall very quickly, like within a matter of days, on getting on what I would call a clean food plan. Yep.
Also, too, speaking about statins, Raymond has a great article on his website, and I believe there's also some articles on his website around the high blood pressure issue. Magnesium's helpful, but taking an overall approach is a good way to do it.
Another thing that may help is olive leaf extract. It can take down blood pressure as much as statins.
Also a very good natural antibiotic. I go to that or olive leaf extract or oregano versus going and getting an antibiotic. Any other questions?
This is more of a share, but I was struck by a program I heard. If anybody listened to NPR, there was a program called Hidden Brain. And on that program, there was one, it was maybe not this last weekend, but the weekend before, was on the topic of placebo and studying the placebo effect. And I thought of it when you were talking about the different ways of modalities. And what they did was they were talking about how nobody had really studied placebo effect itself. And people have come here and talked about how placebo effect is very strong. And in some cases, say placebo effect, by the way, is more prevalent in instances where people are self-reporting what they feel. So if, for example, pain is a self-reported phenomenon, you can't really, you can't draw blood and go, okay, this is how much pain you're in, right? So it's more subjective things. But they were talking about how it's very real, and they even studied a case. Well, they did studies where they're talking about the placebo effect in where they told people they were getting a placebo, and they still got a placebo effect. And this points to the sort of mental model that you did, but their insight was, they said it has a lot to do with doctor-patient interaction, that you're talking with somebody who cares and is thinking about you and approaching you with as a whole human being and all these kinds of things. And these are things that maybe you tend to not get with some doctors, I'll say, versus others. And I thought it was just a very fascinating thing, and I suggest people look at it, because they talked about a case where one person cured her chronic pain by taking placebo pills, and after about actually 10 years of this, she didn't even need the placebo pills anymore.
That is amazing. Yeah, I when I was working with Raymond in 2007, I actually had a lady tell me that she was taking a placebo pill, and I was kind of shocked to hear that. But yeah, it's amazing. I mean, our belief systems and our minds are extremely powerful, and so definitely take care of your mind.
I just wanted to say that's super interesting, because I don't know if anybody else is into their genetic tests, but I recently did Dr. Rhonda Patrick's assessment, which you can do online. Foundmyfitness.com is her website. But she has a new version of her report out, and there's an allele associated with effectiveness of the placebo effect. And I was just amazed by that. So I don't know much about it, but something to research further. I was looking at the results of a genetic test, and there's a particular allele. Oh, sure. It's Dr. Rhonda Patrick. Foundmyfitness.com is her website. Yes.
You can send your 23andMe data to Rhonda's, and she'll do a further analysis on it.
I asked this question to my aunt one time. How much do genetics play a role in the outcome of your health? Like, her mom had cancer, so she thought, probably might get cancer myself. But how many, like 0 to 100, how many people think it's like 0 to 25? Good. 25 to 50? 50 and above? Good. Yeah, CDC's did studies on this. 18% is about where they're at. I think it's even lower than that. I think it's more like 5, especially when we're now learning more and more about epigenetics. That's pretty fascinating work as well. How many people have heard of Bruce Lipton? Some great information from him as well, so highly encourage that. Any other questions? Bruce Lipton. He wrote a book called The Biology of Belief. He was a Harvard medical guy and did some fascinating work around genetics, and saying that the gene is like the blueprint, but when you build a house, it doesn't always come out like the blueprint. So it's more the proteins wrapped around the genes that give the expression of the gene, whether you turn it on or you turn it off. So some great work.
Bruce Lipton actually has a conference coming up, a class at the chiropractic college that's in Hayward, and it's taking place on June 1st and 2nd. I don't know if it's filled up or not. I'm signed up for it, but it's an excellent opportunity to hear him speak at actually a very low cost for him.
How long is it? How long is the conference?
It's 4 hours on Saturday. I think it's or maybe 8 hours. It's like a a good solid day on Saturday and on Sunday.
Is there a website that we can find it on? I guess if you Google Bruce Lipton, you'll probably be able to get to his official website, which I'm sure that he'll have that information on, I would imagine. All righty. Any more questions? Floor is open.
I just remembered that the famous advocate against GMOs and Roundup, Jeffrey Smith, is for the next 5 days, he's come out with his new movie, Secret Ingredients, and it's viewable online free for the next 5 days. So.
Sounds very interesting for sure. I just saw another movie on EMFs called Get Zapped. That's an interesting one as well.